Good morning. Welcome to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center. We are part of Unity Worldwide Ministries, and you can find us locally at 350 North Orchard Avenue in Vacaville, California. Let's begin today's service with a prayer from Reverend Dalia Adams.
Let us pray. Let us join our minds and our hearts. Let us look inward and acknowledge the power and the presence that is God. Honoring that presence, we open our hearts in gratitude for the infinite wisdom, love, strength, guidance, hope that is available to us as we look inward and as we open to this power and presence. Let us also be grateful today for each other. For even though we are meeting over computers and gadgets, devices, there is a oneness of heart that we share, and we are so grateful for that. We are grateful for each other, the strength and the wisdom and the love that we draw from each other, that we offer to each other. We join together in a vision of this sense of spiritual community being always strong within our hearts. And together we say thank you for the power and presence that is God and the power, presence, and love that is our community. Thank you, God. Amen.
Hi, my name is Gary Eisenberg, and it is my pleasure and privilege to be your service assistant today. I want you to look at the beautiful people that you may be sitting next to as you watch this service. If you are all by yourself, I would like you to visualize them as we bless them together. So let's say together, you are a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. You are loved unconditionally, just the way you are. And if it is true for them, it must be true for ourselves as well. So let's bless ourselves by saying, I am a beautiful child of God, perfect in every way. I am loved unconditionally, just the way I am. We have such beautiful people in our congregation serving as prayer chaplains. They are an email away at unityvv@pacbell.net. If you are going through a challenge or a loved one is going through a challenge, they are here to pray with you. Also, they are here to celebrate anything you like to talk about with them. So please contact our prayer chaplains once again at unityvv@pacbell.net. It is time for our announcements. And we got so busy last Sunday celebrating the fact that it was the first Sunday in October, we completely forgot about Birthday Sunday. And we wanted to make sure that our October birthday people were not forgotten. Our son Simon is celebrating his birthday in October. And so this song is for Simon and all you beautiful October people celebrating your birthday.
Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday, and may all your dreams come true. When you blow out the candles, one light stays aglow. It's the love light in your eyes, wherever you go.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Our next announcement is we are having another Unity Virtual Cafe. Yes, we are physically distant, but we are so spiritually close. And it would be so wonderful to see your face, your beautiful face, next Sunday in our virtual cafe. Now, the time is 11:45 to 1, and some of you may be put off by the time. Just come for a few minutes to say hello to everybody. We would love to see you. We'll catch up, we'll check in, and we'll do a lot of laughing and wonderful sharing together. So see you next Sunday. Please email the center at unityvv@pacbell.net to get your Zoom credentials for the virtual cafe meeting. Our next announcement is we are having our craft fair, and it's going to be extra special this year because of COVID. It will be held in our parking lot. We are going to do it in a very safe, socially distanced manner. If you have items that you would like to sell, now is the time to call our center at 707-447-0521 and register and sign up for your table or tables. And you'll need to do this before October 30th. Let Teresa know how many spaces and tables you will need, and we are going to advertise this throughout the community, and it will be a great chance for you to visit in a very socially distant, appropriate manner, as well as making a little money from all the items and crafts you may have to sell. So again, November 14th, it will be from 9 to 2 in the Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center parking lot. See you then. Our next announcement has to do with our tremendous team unity. We believe at Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center that it is so important to put our love into action. And the poster boy for that happens to be Bob Panzer, who is in our congregation. Bob every year leads Team Unity. And because of his efforts and Team Unity's efforts, we have raised $8,850 for the Alzheimer's Association. And yes, we are going to find a cure for this dreadful disease. Bob Panzer alone raised over $3,500 for the Alzheimer's cause. We are so proud of Bob. We are proud of Team Unity. We are so proud of putting our love into action for our community. Good for you, Team Unity. Very proud of you. Our next announcement, again, we are digging in and helping the people who are recovering from the fires that we had last month. If you go to unityvacaville.org, you will see this blue tile. You simply click on it, and it will take you to the GoFundMe pages of our beloved church members who still are recovering from the devastation they experienced because of the fires. If you do not want to do GoFundMe, then simply write a check, make it out to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center in the memo line. Please jot down who you would like your funds to go to, and we'll make sure our beloved church members receive those much needed funds. Thank you. And finally, it is the time of year that we fill out our pledge cards. Many of you have already received this pledge card in the mail, but for the first time, you will have the opportunity to fill it out online. Again, when you go to unityvacaville.org, you will see this tile. You will click on it, and it will take you to the place where you can fill out your pledge card online and send it to our center. Very easy to do. These pledge cards help our board of directors plan for next year's budget. You will pledge what you are comfortable with pledging, whether it be a one-time gift, whether it be 10% of your income, whatever you're comfortable with. It is because of your generosity that our center continues to thrive and serve our congregation and serve our community. So make sure either you mail in your pledge card or fill it out online. If you have any questions, please call the office at 707-447-0521. Thank you for doing that. And finally, thank you so much for joining us today. We are one holy family, and we thrive because of your generosity. Again, thank you for your gifts. And now it is time for us to center into the service. We take a deep breath, and together we state the statement of faith. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good. Amen.
Love breathes through me. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through everyone and breathes through me. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through everyone and breathes through me. I breathe the earth, the sun, the skies, and then the night, your starry eyes. In our breath, creation sighs. The breath that draws my gaze within and gently flows outside again. The breath of love that we live in. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through everyone and breathes through me. And when the world's too much for me and all my fears feel unrelieved, I feel peace in air I breathe. The temple bells, the oceans roar, our spirits with each other soar. The God of love comes back for more. I am divine, I know it. I am pure love, I know it. Because God breathes love into me. We are of love's creation. Our breath is love's elation. Love is all that we can be. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through everyone and breathes through me. Love breathes through me. Through everyone and breathes through me.
My name is Reverend Dalia Adams, and I am so honored to be here with you today. We have been focusing our attention on the way of peace, That has been our theme, our guiding idea for the year 2020. Over the course of the year, we've learned how to cultivate peace, how to live in that experience of peace, how to bring peace into every situation that we encounter. And it's a perfect skill for this year of 2020. Because too often we think that it's the outer circumstances that are the source of our peace. But unless we cultivate that inner peace that lives in our own awakened hearts, then circumstances become the master of our experience, the master of our emotions, because circumstances are never a reliable source of peace. And so for the last 7 weeks, we've been looking at the way of peace through a book called True Refuge, Finding Peace and Freedom, or Freedom and Peace in Your Own Awakened Heart. It's a book by Tara Brach, and we've been spending 7 weeks. We're in the middle of those 7 weeks in what we call a Fall Reflections program. And we reflect on the themes in this book. Some of us are meeting in small groups to discuss the book. I've been hearing really good feedback from the people who are doing that. And hopefully everybody else has had a chance to jump into the book at least a little bit and gain from the wisdom that she writes. Today we're going to be talking about the gateway of love. And to put that into a little bit of context, at the Buddhist retreats that I've attended, typically toward the end of the day, or at least at the end of the retreat, all of the people there together say, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, and I take refuge in the Sangha. Last week we talked about taking refuge in the Dharma, in truth, in the teachings, in our path. And today we're going to talk about taking refuge in the Sangha, the gateway of love that Buddhism teaches is the same as finding or taking refuge in the Sangha. The Sangha, according to Tara Brach, that although there are these 3 main gateways, or 3 places where we're encouraged to take refuge, when there is a crisis or a traumatic event or ongoing trauma or anything that really challenges us to our core, that the only one of these gateways, the only pathway to true refuge, is the gateway of love. And that makes sense when we're frightened, when we're feeling threatened, when we experience a sense of loss and sadness grips our hearts, when we are confronted with challenges that make us angry and bring up a passion to make things different. In all of those moments, it's very hard to sit in meditation and just look at the truth that comes up. It's very hard in those situations to recognize the truth of what is, the truth of my reaction to what is, and to examine it, to accept and allow it, and then to find ways of not identifying with it. These are things we talked about last week when we talked about the gateway of truth, and it's a powerful, powerful gateway. But in those moments, when circumstances can feel crushing or big, it is the gateway of love that is our best pathways to that awakened heart, to that freedom and peace that comes with that awakened heart. There are some Buddhist teachers that say this is the most powerful gateway to true refuge. And we know that when those things come up, we want to be with someone that we care about or someone who cares about us. In those really difficult moments, a hug feels like the most wonderful thing in the world. And that's one of the challenges that we're facing right now in this pandemic. Those hugs that are such powerful healing moments are sources of danger, sources of contagion possibly. But there are many expressions and experiences of love. We know that when we are in one of those difficult times, in a time of crisis, that the love of our family, the love of our spiritual community can make all of the difference, both the love that we receive and the love that we give in those moments. Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist teacher we've studied in the past, says the Sangha is a community where there should be harmony and peace and understanding. If love is there in the community, if we have been nourished by the love in the community, then we will never move away from love. And love will remain our gateway to refuge, to an awakened heart, to peace, to freedom. By the strictest definition, the Sangha is the spiritual community. Buddha taught about the Sangha, and he taught his monks to form this loving community and to find rest and refuge in the community. Jack Kornfield, one of my favorite Buddhist teachers, told a story that I heard many years ago, where he was either leading or participating in a long retreat, maybe 90 days. I'm not sure of those details, but it was a long time. And so the community of people who came to sit and meditate and to awaken became a Sangha because they joined together every day. And there is a power in that. Anyone who has ever sat with others in prayer and meditation knows the power of that. So he was there in this community, and he was feeling this beautiful heart connection with the people who were sitting in meditation. But there was this cook that he had to see every morning, every lunchtime, every dinner time, and man, this cook, his voice, his mannerisms, the way he moved, really irritated Jack Kornfield. And so this was disrupting the peace that he was creating through the meditation times. And because in the retreat, his intention was to acknowledge what was true, he acknowledged that it was his own reaction, his own way of seeing that was disrupting that peace and freedom of his own heart. So he decided to use a Buddhist practice called loving kindness meditation, or metta in Sanskrit and Pali. And so every time he would see this cook, he would say quietly to himself, "May you be happy. May your heart be filled with peace. May your day be filled with joy." Now, metta can have different specific phrases, but they are all phrases offering a blessing. And so I don't know which ones Jack Kornfield used, but my example is good enough. Every time he saw this cook, "May you be happy. May you be at peace. May your heart be filled with joy." And he did this every day, and he would repeat it several times whenever he was in the presence of this cook. And he said at the end of the retreat, he did feel the oneness with the others who were participating in the retreat. But he said the hardest thing when he was leaving was he felt a wrenching in his heart when he realized how much he was going to miss this cook. He had developed a deeper connection with him than with anybody else. So that is a spiritual community. It isn't always an automatic pilot that we form these connections, but the intention is there, and we use the practices that we know to keep our hearts open. And then the community becomes our anchor, our holding space, our space of love that keeps our hearts open. But a spiritual community doesn't have to be just a group of Buddhist monks. There's a couple pictures of smaller groups within the community of Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center. The one group was preparing to practice a song, and I think the other was actually during a service. We have an informal service where people call Coffee with God. That's spiritual community every bit as much as a group of monks or people on retreat for an extended period of time. And there is something so powerful about gathering together in that way. The love that is shared in the community becomes palpable. You can just about touch it. When I first came to this community in the first couple of years, I think that's what I came to realize, that the most important thing about the community was the love that was at the heart of it. But the thing is, love is not limited to time and space. So even though we are no longer gathering, at least for the time being, we're not gathering in that way, we are still a spiritual community. We gather in different ways, in many ways. We smile, we laugh, we talk, we pray together. We listen to each other's heartaches. We listen to each other's joys, and our hearts are open. And we go out and help people who need help within the community, bring food to those who for a while can't do that for themselves. We take time on the phone to listen to how people are doing. We encourage creative ideas and projects, and people are coming together. And that oneness and the love is not diminished by a reduced or lack of physical contact. I'm not saying we don't miss being together, but the love is just as strong, it's just as powerful, and the community is still our home, our spiritual home. That is the meaning of Sangha. Now, there are times in our community where people have Jack Cornfield moments where someone else irritates or bothers them or this or that. And there's some harumphs that happen on occasion, but I know and I trust the community members to use unity principles or maybe even the loving kindness meditation, the way Jack Cornfield did, to get past those moments, because deeper than any conflict is the love and the strength of that love and the strength of the community, because it is based in love. So as you think of those most powerful moments of love within our spiritual community, notice what that experience is, and that is the best definition of Sangha. So we take refuge in the Sangha. I am not a bullfight person. That is so not me. But there is an idea that can be understood metaphysically in the context of a bullfight, and it fits. It fits the understanding of what Sangha means to us. The Kerencia is the place in the ring that the bull wants to be, where the bull desires to be, because in that space, whatever it is, the bull feels safe. And in that experience of safety, the bull can gather all of his strength to do what the bull needs to do. So metaphysically for us, the Kerencia is that place where we find our own safety, or in Tara Brach's words, our refuge. And when we are in that experience of true refuge and our hearts are open, we can gather our strength. And we know that our strength comes from our oneness with God. We can gather a divine strength to move through us. And we become capable of doing what a few moments ago felt completely impossible. So the Sangha then is the desired place. It's that holding space where we can go and be either physically or in our hearts, and we can feel the safety that the community brings to us through its love that it gives to us, and through the love that we give to it. It creates a sense of such safety and such awareness of our oneness with each other and with God, that strength beyond our wildest dreams becomes available to us. And we do impossible things. And I've heard story after story of the impossible things that happen to create the physical space for our community. I've watched impossible thing after impossible thing happen since I've been here. So we can think of our Sangha, of our community, as our Kerencia, our desired place. And that's not physical place, that's that inner space in our hearts that we have for each other. The thing about Sangha and spiritual community, our world has gotten much smaller. We're much more connected than we've ever been. And we're not limited to our spiritual community when we think of Sangha. We have, each and every one of us, the ability to create a Sangha experience in our greater community. And then not only are we finding refuge in our spiritual group, but our greater community, or pieces of our greater community, also become a spiritual community to us. There's a story, again, Jack Kornfield told this. He actually didn't tell it. He read it from a magazine called The Sun. And it's the story of a woman named Beth. And I have some notes because I want to get this right. So the story of Beth was published in The Sun magazine, and it was written by Beth's husband. And in the story, and he doesn't give his name, in the story, he said, my wife and I moved from the country to a warehouse district of a large city. And he went on to say, I was so surprised on how well Beth adapted to big city living, to living in a warehouse district in a big city after having spent most of her life in the country. She embraced it. She was fine with the sirens at night, the car alarms, the crowds, the noise, and even the homeless people. In fact, she made friends with all of the homeless people. She knew them by name and would talk to them regularly. The only thing that was any problem for Beth was the tattoo parlor that was across the street. And it was loud and noisy at that parlor, and they would yell profanities, and oftentimes fights would break out. They would scare Beth. She would watch the men who hung out at the parlor harass women and sometimes men who walked by. And so she spent 2 years staring out of her window at that tattoo parlor, visualizing shooting out their tires. And 2 years went by, and one day she called her husband at work, and she said, I'm going to get a tattoo. He said, okay. But he was really surprised because Beth was not a body art type person. And he knew about her fantasies of shooting their tires. So she goes across the street and she talks to the man who's standing at the door, and she said, I would like to get a tattoo, I think, but can I come in and watch for a little while? And they let her do that. And so then she went back out. There was a bench in front of the tattoo parlor, and she sat down, and one of the men who worked there was sitting next to her, and he said, you're going to get a tattoo? And she said, yes. He goes, what kind of tattoo? I can move this, hold on. And she says, I'm going to get a tattoo that says, love thy neighbor. And he made a face of confusion. She said, well, you guys are my neighbor, and I'm really having trouble loving you. All your fighting scares me. The noise upsets me. So I think that this might help. So this man took her in back and said, hey, Miguel, we have to stop fighting. We're scaring our neighbor. And Miguel got upset, and she said, no, I'm not trying to change you. I just want to get a tattoo. And he said, oh, what kind? And she said, I want to tattoo love thy neighbor on my wrist. And he was confused. She goes, well, you're my neighbor, and I'm having trouble loving you, so I thought that might help. So she got the tattoo. She thanked him. She went back home, but the fighting stopped. The harassing of the pedestrians stopped. There was still noise, but the profanity stopped. And she would look at her little tattoo, and it was her practice, and pretty soon she was loving her neighbors. And she no longer fantasized about shooting their tires. She got a good feeling when she would see them. She would say hello when she passed by, and they would say hello to her. And a couple months went by, and she ended up in a car repair shop, and there was Miguel, the tattoo artist that gave her her tattoo. He was behind the counter talking to the mechanic, and she was going to walk up to Miguel and say, "Hello, do you remember me?" Miguel looked up and saw her and came to her and put his arm around her and walked her to the mechanic and said, "This is my neighbor, the woman I've been telling you about." So her Sangha, I don't know if she belonged to a spiritual group, but what she allowed through the changes in her heart was to allow her neighbors, the homeless people she spoke to, the people that passed by in the street, they all became her Sangha, her gateway of love to that true refuge of an open heart. Thich Nhat Hanh says that the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha are three precious jewels in Buddhism. Those three gateways are described as jewels in Buddhist philosophy. And he said, and the most important of these is Sangha. The Sangha contains the Buddha and the Dharma. In Buddhist teaching, there is this understanding that the Buddha is within each of us, and periodically over history comes to light a Buddha who becomes a leader of the Buddhist tradition, of the Buddhist community. And so Gautama Buddha, the one that we hear the most about, was not the first or the only Buddha. And there is a teaching that the next Buddha is going to be the Buddha of love. And Thich Nhat Hanh and others, but Thich Nhat Hanh has taught that the Sangha is going to be the next Buddha rather than an individual. So as we become aware of the truth of what is, as we become aware of what happens within us in response to what is, I invite you, I invite all of us to become aware of how precious the Sangha is, the spiritual community, and your expanded spiritual community, as a pathway to that true refuge, as a pathway to the peace and freedom of an open heart. So we take a moment as we bring this portion of our spiritual experience to a close, and join with me in just stating this intention: I take refuge in the Sangha. I take refuge in the Sangha. And so it is.
As we enter this time of meditation, I invite you to become still. I invite you to take your favorite meditation posture and let the music of Narayan and Janet enter your heart. Fill your heart as we now center within.
so we move deeper into our time of meditation. And as we do so, I invite you to sit comfortably. Allow your breath to come easily and effortlessly, letting your breath find its own natural and easy rhythm. For a little while, focus your attention on the movement of your breath. Notice how your breath feels as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Notice how each breath takes you deeper within, deep into your heart space. Notice how your heart gently opens with the movement of the breath. Allow your heart open to the truth of the presence and the power that is always there, the one presence, the one power, the presence that expresses through you and as you. As you breathe, you continue to go deeper into that sacred space, into that heart space. And you experience the power, the presence, and the love that is God. The power, the presence, and the love that is the truth of your being. And in that sacred space, hold in awareness your Sangha, your family, your spiritual family. And in that awareness, offer blessings. Offer to each and every one that is in your Sangha a blessing, saying, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May your heart be filled with joy. And allow your heart to open just a little bit more. And then repeat the blessing again. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May your heart be filled with joy. And then offer those blessings to yourself. May I be happy. May my heart be at peace. And may my heart be filled with joy. For a moment in the silence, allow yourself to feel the love of the Sangha. I take refuge in the Sangha. I feel safe in the Sangha. I gather my strength in the Sangha. Holding those affirmations in your heart, allow yourself to gently and easily bring your attention back to this room, back to this time, back to this place. Be fully present. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Take a nice deep breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes and join with me in saying, may you be blessed. And so it is.
Ah, there you are. It is that time in our service where we stop and pause and give thanks for our prosperity and our abundance. We are in this joyful flow of giving and receiving. So, with great gladness, we tithe to Unity of the Valley Spiritual Center, and we joyfully state together, God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free.
Join me in giving thanks for that constant flow of abundant good that comes into our lives as we state together, the inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand. There is no reality in lack. Our abundance is here and now manifest, and so it is. Please join me in the singing of our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment, live each moment, peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Soon we will be together. But until then, we remain united in unity as we state together, the prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. We are one holy family. We celebrate our oneness and honor our diversity.
As we bring this spiritual experience to a close, let us join together in our closing affirmation. I invite you also to hold this affirmation in your heart throughout the week. So join me in the closing affirmation. I take refuge in love. Once more, I take refuge in love. And so it is.
And as we end our time together on this beautiful Sunday morning, I would like to give thanks to Reverend Dalia Adams for once again spiritually feeding us with her wonderful message and meditation. It is not too late to send in your photos or your videos to be included at the end of our service. I've heard from many of you that you look forward to seeing your fellow church family at the end of service. So if you haven't sent in a photo or video, please do. Send it to unityvv@pacbell.net, and we will see you online. Until then, I wish you a very blessed Sunday and wonderful upcoming week. And I'd like to start with the waving of the hellos. So hi, everybody.
In a happy mood, feeling gratitude. Thank you, thank you.
Gratitude is my name, feeling grateful is my game. Thank you, thank you.
When I lift my head up, stop complaining.
I see everything through gratitude-colored glasses, and we're all in this great big sea of bliss. And thank you,
thank you,
thank you.
thank you. Hello, I love you.
Hello.
We're all connected.
Love you.
We're all connected.
I miss everybody.
By the
Be
air.
together again soon. I just want to thank
I love the choir.
Wave. Like you're waving to the congregation saying, I love you.
I love you. I love you.
Yes. Namaste, everybody. And I don't know if we're supposed to have video on this.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, Reggie.
So we have to wave for 20 seconds. Send love to everyone out there that you want to send love to. Yeah. Send kisses.
I'm in a
There we
happy
go.
mood, feeling gratitude.
Okay, keep waving a couple more seconds. There we go.
Thank you.
All right.
Gratitude
Thank you
is my
all
name.
so
Feeling
much.
grateful is my game. Thank you. Thank you.
Say hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
How
are you? How are you? I'm fine.
We miss you.
Miss you.
We miss
I feel
you.
everything
We think about you.
through
about you.
gratitude-colored
We
glasses,
hold you in our
and
hearts.
we're all in
And we'll see you soon.
See you
great
soon.
big sea of
I'm
bliss.
too soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Guys.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Gratitude is my name. Feeling grateful is my game. Thank you. Thank you.
When I lift my head up, stop complaining.
I see everything through gratitude colored glasses, and we're all in this great big sea of bliss.